Unit conversions, page 6. In our class, currency should be given with 2 decimal places unless otherwise stated. For example, 103 reais and 99 cents, not 154 reais. Okay? So normally we do the rule, the IB rule, where we do 3 significant figures, but for financial numbers, we should always try to give 2 decimal places as if currencies have cents. Okay? All right. A family in Malaysia received a gift of $3,500 from a cousin living in America. The money was converted to Malaysian ringgit. 1 ringgit can be exchanged for 0.3236 US dollars. So this 1 ringgit and this is a domino, right? Calculate how many ringgits the family received. So we start out with 3,500 US dollars. And we multiply times a domino with US dollars on the bottom and ringgit on top. And the 1 ringgit can be exchanged for 0.3236 US dollars. And so let's figure out the amount here. The US dollars cancel out, so that looks like I did it correctly. And then I'm going to put in the calculator I'm going to use the math function, or the math fraction function. So I'm going to put 3500 on top. And on the bottom, I'm going to put 0.3236. So the answer is 10,815.82, because I gave it cents, okay? That's ringgit. Alright, next problem. Joseph is spending a year traveling from America to France and Britain. Here are the exchange rates. So these are, these are our, what do you call it? Our dominoes. Joseph changes 500 US dollars into euros. Okay, so let's see. 500 US dollars, and we're going to convert it using dollars to euros. So 1 US dollar we put on the bottom so that it cancels out, and the top is going to be 0.783 euros. Okay, and so if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do 500 times 0.783 and divide by nothing, so I don't even need to use any special calculator. Screen or times 0.783. 391.5 euros. So that was part A. Part B. He spends 328 euros in France and changes the remainder into GBP. How many GBP did he receive? So we're going to subtract out 328 from 391.5. We get how many euros? 328. 28. And the answer is 63.5. That is what's left over. He spends 328 euros in France. Okay. And this is euros. And now I want to change these euros into GBP. I'm going to do that using the other domino. So what do I need to put on the bottom? Do I need to put euros on the bottom or GBP on the bottom? Euros on the bottom because I want them to cancel out. with what's on top, right? And the euro on the bottom is going to be 1.172, and the top is going to be 1 British pound. Okay, so we're going to do 63.5 divided by 1.172. 54.18 GBP. Okay. 54.18. Okay. Last one. A bank in Canada offers the following exchange rate between dollars and euros, and the bank sells 1 Canadian dollar for 0.821 euros and buys 1 Canadian dollar for 0.758 euros. Okay, so these are dominoes too. Oops, these are kind of weird dominoes because these dominoes here have the exact same exchange rate. It has Canadian dollars to euros, but do you see how like the number of euros is slightly different? So what happens is the bank is trying to always make money off of any exchange of currency. So it'll always give you a rate that's worse than, you know, if everything was even. Okay? Whenever it says, like it says, bank sells 1 Canadian dollar, and then for blah blah blah, and the bank sells 1 Canadian dollar for blah blah blah. Whenever they say bank sells or bank buys, it's kind of hard because there's like two currencies, right? So which is it? Is the bank selling the currency or is the bank buying the currency? One of the clues is when the currency has like a unit of 1 here, then usually what that means is the bank is buying or selling it. Okay? And the other thing that we need to do is we should always kind of draw a picture of what's going on. So usually when I draw the picture, I draw, you know, like me, and I draw the bank, and I show which way the money's going. So in the first case, the bank is selling Canadian dollars. So if the bank is selling Canadian dollars, that means in this direction there's Canadian dollars. And in the other direction, there should be the other money, which in this case looks like it's going to be euros. So I'm giving the bank euros, and the bank is giving me Canadian dollars, right? Because the bank is selling Canadian dollars. So a customer wishes to exchange 800 Canadian dollars for euros. How many euros will the customer receive? Okay, so if I'm giving 800 Canadian dollars, that's the opposite direction what I drew here. So the customer is going to give 800 Canadian dollars to the bank, and the bank is going to give back another amount. It's going to give euros, right? Okay. And we know that the exchange rate to use in this case is the bank is buying Canadian dollars, right? So it would be this one, buys Canadian dollars. So A, how many euros will the customer receive from 800 Canadian dollars? So we're going to multiply times the domino, and the domino has, which domino do we want? We want the domino that's going to happen when the customer gives $800, right? And the bank is giving Canadian dollars. Oh, no, the bank is giving euros. Right? Okay. So, in this case, we want a domino where Canadian dollars is on the bottom and euros is on the top. And we want the one where the bank is buying Canadian dollars. So that would be bank is buying, it's this one, okay? So my euro rate is going to be 0.758 and the Canadian dollar rate is going to be 1. Now I can calculate this by multiplying 800 times 0.758. 606.4. What is this? This is Canadian dollar cancels out, so this must be euros. Okay. B. The customer has to cancel his trip and change his money back later when the rates are sells 1 Canadian dollar for 0.8535 euros. Buy Canadian dollars equals 0.769 euros. Okay, so now I can take 606.40 and I'm going to convert that. Oops. $606.40 is the amount that he has in euros. He wants to change it back to Canadian dollars. If he is giving 606 euros, so this is the customer and the bank, and he's giving 606 euros, and then the bank must be giving him Canadian dollars, right? Okay, so the bank is selling Canadian dollars, so that's why it says use the sell information. Okay, so we're gonna multiply 606.40 times a fraction here. We're gonna have to put euros on the bottom, 0.835 euros, and we are gonna put 1 Canadian dollar on top. Okay, 835. And then we're going to do the division here in the calculator. So 606.4 divided by 0.835. By 0.835. Okay, so 606.4 divided by 0.835 gives us 726.23. 726.23. Okay, that was B. And that's the Canadian dollars that we got here. And how many Canadian dollars has he lost on the transaction? He started out with 800, and then he ends up with 726.23. So if we want to know how much he lost, we could just calculate it here. 726.23. So the answer is 73.72. So the answer for C is 73.72. Oh, 73.77, sorry. $73.77, and that is how much Canadian dollars he lost. Okay, and that's it for page 6.